On the edge of hollow pines, hidden deep within the woods, stood a building most people had forgotten, an asylum that had been abandoned for nearly 70 years. The few who remembered it whispered stories of unspeakable experiments, missing patients, and doctors who crossed the line between medicine and madness. The building had become a dark stain on the town's history, and everyone avoided it, except 4 college students who thought spending one night there would make for the perfect documentary. Sarah, Daniel, Mike, and Emily were young, reckless, and hungry for views on their paranormal YouTube channel. With cameras, flashlights, and nervous laughter, they pushed open the rusted gate and stepped into the asylum's courtyard. The air smelled of wet earth and rust, and the silence of the night felt unnaturally heavy, as if the forest itself was holding its breath. The asylum loomed before them, its windows broken like jagged teeth, its walls covered in ivy that crawled upward like veins. "Creepy," Mike muttered, trying to sound casual as he filmed. "Perfect place for some ghost hunting." Inside, the air was colder, damp with the smell of mold and decay. The floor creaked beneath their feet, and every sound echoed through the hollow hallways. Old wheelchairs sat abandoned, their wheels rusted in place. Patient charts lay scattered across the floor, their pages yellowed with age. On one wall, someone had scratched words deep into the plaster. "Don't let them see you." Emily laughed nervously, brushing her blonde hair from her face. Probably just some urban explorer trying to scare people. But Daniel's brow furrowed. He felt something watching them already. As they moved deeper into the asylum, their flashlights flickered against peeling wallpaper and broken doors. The building seemed alive, groaning with every gust of wind. Then, faintly, came the sound of footsteps, slow, dragging, deliberate. "Hello?" Sarah called out, her voice trembling slightly. No answer. Only silence. They convinced themselves it was just the wind, but when Mike reviewed his camera footage, he froze. At the end of the corridor, a tall figure had been standing completely still, watching them. Yet, when they looked up from the screen, the hallway was empty. "Okay, that's not funny," Emily whispered. Pushing forward, they found the staircase to the basement. The door was locked with a chain, but as Daniel touched it, the chain fell away as if it had never been fastened. The door creaked open, releasing a wave of foul air that smelled of blood and rot. They descended the stairs, their flashlights trembling in their hands. The basement was worse than they imagined. Rusted surgical tables stood in rows, restraints dangling like metal shackles. Broken jars filled with cloudy liquid lined the shelves, and something floated inside them. Things that might once have been human organs. Suddenly, a soft sobbing echoed through the darkness. It came from the far corner of the room. Sarah raised her light, and in the beam, they saw a figure crouched on the floor. Its skin was pale, almost gray, its body unnaturally thin. At first, they thought it was a mannequin, until it lifted its head. Its eyes were pure black, and its mouth was sewn shut with thick, rotting thread. The figure stood, bones cracking as it straightened. Then it rushed at them with impossible speed. The group screamed and bolted upstairs, slamming the basement door shut behind them. They were ready to leave, but when they tried, the hallways no longer led where they should. The asylum had changed. Corridors twisted into places they hadn't entered before. Rooms repeated endlessly. The front door was gone. "Guys, this doesn't make sense," Daniel stammered. "We're trapped." As panic set in, Emily suddenly screamed. She was gone. One moment she was behind them. The next, nothing but the echo of her voice. They searched desperately, calling her name, but the only answer was laughter. High-pitched, childlike, and cruel. On the walls, fresh words appeared in dripping red letters. "One must stay." Daniel's hand shook as he flipped through a stack of dusty patient records they'd found. Oh God, listen to this. The head doctor believed in sacrificing one patient every month to keep the others alive. They thought the building itself demanded it. Sarah's eyes widened. "You're saying it wants one of us?" The air grew colder. Shadows stretched unnaturally long across the floor. Their flashlights flickered. Somewhere down the hall, Emily's voice called out faintly. "Help me!" They ran toward the sound, but when they entered the room, they found Emily suspended in midair, dozens of shadowy hands pulling her into the darkness. She screamed, reaching for them, but no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't reach her. Her body vanished, and the room fell silent. One by one, the others began to break. Mike lashed out, yelling that they needed to choose someone to stay behind. Sarah argued that they had to stick together, but the asylum didn't wait for them to decide. The lights burst. A deafening scream filled the halls. The shadows surged like a wave, grabbing Daniel and Mike, dragging them into the walls. Their voices faded until nothing remained but silence. Sarah was the last. She stumbled through the endless corridors, sobbing, begging to be released. She fell to her knees in a room lined with mirrors. In the glass, she saw her reflection, but it wasn't crying. It was smiling. Slowly, the reflection lifted a finger and pressed it to its lips, whispering, "Shh, it's your turn now." The mirrors shattered, and the shadows consumed her. The next morning, hikers found the students' cameras just outside the asylum gates. The footage ended with Sarah's scream and the sound of glass breaking. No bodies were ever found. To this day, Hollow Pines Asylum remains sealed. But whenever lightning strikes, locals swear you can hear the echo of children laughing and the desperate screams of those who never made it out.